Greetings, pilots. I'm your Intel Officer So, and welcome to So, What's a Gundam? In this podcast, I'll try to answer questions that commonly come up about the Universal Century, which is the main timeline of Gundam, and try to make them easier to understand. Content warning, I'm going to be making mistakes all the time. I might say something incorrectly. I might say, oh, this happened, when in reality, this happened. So if I do something like that, please let me know in the comments, timestamp it for everyone else, and correct me, please. Today, we're talking about Minovsky particles. You've probably heard that term a lot, where someone says, they're releasing Minovsky particles, or the Minovsky particles are causing us some kind of issue, right? Well, we're talking about that today. But first, we gotta talk about the guy who discovered them. And that would be Trevor Y. Minovsky. He was born on Earth in Ukraine in 1983, and if I can remember correctly, he witnessed the Chernobyl disaster, which probably made him want to go to the United States. His buddy, Ionesco, I honestly didn't read too much about him, so you might have to do some research yourself, but Ionesco said that Anaheim Electronics would fund him for his research, and he was like a kid in a candy store. I mean, who wouldn't be excited about that kind of prospect? He did believe in the Minovsky particle, but it hadn't been detected before, and people kind of started believing he was, a little crazy in the head, and eventually, when just nothing happened with it, he got kicked out of the scientific community of Earth for the whole thing. But, fortunately for him, the Principality of Xi'an approached him and said, hey, why not give it a chance? So with that, Minovsky moved to, I believe it was either Side 3 or Side 4, and he would make a thermonuclear fusion reactor in Universal Century 065. And through that thermonuclear fusion reactor, he discovered the Minovsky particle, as it had a unique effect upon this reactor. So, wow! A great scientific discovery. What are they going to use it for? Well, the Zavi family made a mega particle cannon using the particles and fitted his fusion reactor into the mobile suits. Kind of a huge escalation. Eventually, he would swap sides and defect to Earth Federation, because he didn't want to see his home get torn apart by beam weaponry. I don't think anybody does. So he swapped to their side, hoping he could give them a chance too, and, he kind of escalated the war after, because eventually Earth Federation would make the Gundam, and the Gundam would have the beam rifle, and that thing was like, whew! Well, now we can get to the part where we ask, what are Minovsky particles? Well, in my research, I kind of dumbed it down, so bear with me a little. But essentially, it's a unique electromagnetic wave caused by the thermonuclear fusion reactors that Minovsky made. It's specifically caused by a helium-3 reaction in the inner walls of the reactor, and if it's spread out, in huge amounts, they cause a lot of disruption in certain radiation waves, specifically, I think it was microwaves and radio waves. The radius this kind of happens in is called an I field. In that I field, things are going to get interfered constantly with, like electronics, or even circuitry will get destroyed if they're not protected by anything. It's basically a giant EMP that's constantly happening over and over. As I said, it was damaging electronics, but it seemed to hit, specific parts because it was radar waves and microwaves, as it damaged things from radar to long-range wireless communication systems, infrared, and sometimes it would even fog up visible light. This would be called the Minovsky effect. And in mobile suits, the I field is very, very necessary, as without it, the pilot would essentially boil alive and the mobile suit itself, explodes. So when you see the beam rifle shoot something, or the beam spray gun hit the reactor directly, that's why it just goes boom, That's basically it for Minovsky particles. Other series, they might be known as another name, but I'll try to get to that later if I can find the time for it. In our next episode, I'm going to be trying to answer the titular question, what is a Gundam? That's all for now, pilots. End of briefing.